up, everybody?
Welcome back to Mile Higher Podcast, where we take your mind a mile higher. But today, we're actually going to be taking your mind a mile lower because we're going to be talking about some dumb criminals and crimes. Some of the stupidest things you've ever seen.
This is going to be so good.
It's going to be really good. We figured that we've had a couple, really intense podcast episodes, and we were feeling like we needed a laugh in our lives. We felt like you guys would enjoy the laugh as well. So we came up with the idea to kind of react to a bunch of different dumb
funny
crimes.
Ass crimes. Yeah.
Really funny stuff. So that's what we're doing today. You guys should let us know if you would like to see a part 2 of this in the future by hitting the thumbs up if you're on YouTube and stuff.
Endless.
Oh my gosh, there are endless dumb people.
Dumb.
It's true.
Crimes and it's so
true.
Fun. But before we get into that, we do have a couple news topics we got to talk about. And as well as we'd like to thank our sponsors for today, Raycon Native Ritual and the Farmer's Dog for sponsoring today's episode. Really excited to tell you guys about those. But let's just dive right into things here. So last week we had talked about the Amazon fires, and throughout that conversation, we brought up Leonardo DiCaprio and just how he champions the environmental crisis, which is awesome. And we mentioned that, why doesn't he donate some money? Or I mentioned that. Why doesn't he donate some money?
Yeah.
And of course, literally, what was it, the next day?
Well, that's not only what you were talking about. You were talking about, because the reason we brought it up is because he did share an incorrect picture of the Amazon fires. If you didn't see the episode last week,
that was the main point we were trying to make.
You should double check the photos you share.
Right.
But then we were like, oh, maybe he could do some other things for it. However, we recorded this episode a little bit in advance, and he ended up donating 2 days ago. Yep. From when we're recording now.
Yeah, his foundation gave $5 million. And obviously, I always forget that he does have this foundation that is literally, fighting climate change and has been for a while, and has given over $100 million. So we were just pointing it out that he shared the wrong photo. That was interesting. It wasn't just him. It was a lot of celebrities sharing incorrect photos. There was just a whole thing about everyone sharing incorrect photos, even just regular people. They were just going around. So yeah, it was kind of it was interesting hearing the feedback, because some people were like, oh my gosh, don't talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. And I'm a huge fan. So I didn't want to make it seem like I was just ragging on him. No, we love him.
That's why we were like, he does much more than most people do. But it was at that point he had not made a donation. And then there was another big story out of Oklahoma this week. A judge has ordered Johnson & Johnson, the family company. It's interesting right here. They say family of companies.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? They normally say the family company, but I wonder if their true name.
Or are they actually saying family of companies? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, anyway. It does sound like the family company. Yeah.
Well, that's what they say on the TV. They do say the family company.
Interesting. Yeah.
But apparently it's family of companies. Anyway, a judge has ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay $572 million for their role in the opioid epidemic.
In Oklahoma. Yeah. This was a state case. And that's a lot of money. So Johnson & Johnson, obviously we pretty much all know, we all have used products from Johnson & Johnson. They make Band-Aids. That's the main one that we all know, but they make a ton of different stuff. They have a ton of companies.
We no longer buy their products.
Right.
We are cruelty-free now. They are not a cruelty-free company.
No, they are not cruelty-free or vegan.
Many products are underneath them. Everything like Neutrogena, Clean and Clear, Rembrandt, Purell, Aveeno, Zyrtec. Just tons of companies. Pepsid, Vaseline.
There's something that Visine. We all have used, I guarantee you.
Not Vaseline, Visine. Yep.
Yeah.
Splenda.
So they make all of those, but what a lot of people don't know as well is that they actually make prescription pills. In fact, they make an opioid called, or they make fentanyl. They make their version of that. It's got its own name, which is literally one of the strongest opioids on the planet. Is probably the most potent as well. But they also make a pain reliever that uses tramadol, and then Concerta, which is, for hyperactivity disorder and narcolepsy.
Dude, I was put on Concerta when I was really young, and it made me crazy. It was the one I had the worst reaction to. I was really mad all the time, as a kid.
Yeah.
My mom said I would just kick the back of her seat and throw fits all the time and wreck things, rip things up. I punched my wall, and I was really young. And my mom's like, "This is so weird." I'm bringing her in, and it was because I was on Concerta.
Really?
Yeah. They took me off of it. I was fine.
I've heard that's pretty intense stuff. I've never used any of those, so.
It's really intense to take as a kid too.
Yeah, and all of these can, you can get addicted to them.
Yeah.
And things like that. So they've literally lost a lawsuit because the judge deemed that they were actually making false and dangerous sales campaigns in the state, basically minimizing the addiction,
Yes.
how addictive it is.
We talked about this on the podcast at one point. I'm pretty sure this
Maybe
was
during
one of our
big
intro.
pharma one or something.
Yeah.
Could
I
have
think we
been.
talked about this when it was just in the works and they were trying to sue them.
Yeah, and apparently, like, their salesmen were just like going to all these doctors that,
Yes.
could have
Basically
been
pimping
pill
it out.
mills and things like that. So they weren't, actively trying to make sure that, things were being done right. And this is what the court deemed
Yeah.
they were responsible for. And obviously, Johnson & Johnson, I believe, is appealing and things like that and is fighting
Yeah.
this thing. But it is a good sign that we are starting to, hold these pharmaceutical companies
Yeah.
responsible for the opioid crisis, because a
Yeah.
lot of it is their fault, I mean,
It's
look at all the
ruining
drug ads
lives.
and everything. Yeah.
I mean, if I remember right, their advertising was basically saying that it doesn't cause any addiction and stuff. You
Right.
can just take it and you'll be fine.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Think about how many people decided to take it because of that.
Yeah.
How many lives were destroyed, how many people they spread it to.
Right.
Just families destroyed. I mean, it's about time someone's held accountable.
So they're giving, $575 million is what they essentially will go towards treatment, overdose prevention, and any other opioid epidemic related costs.
Interesting.
Which the lawsuit was for $17 billion, actually, was what the actual original lawsuit was. But they got $512 million, which I still think is pretty good. They're still negotiating. So that is some good news there, at least. But we've got a Jeffrey Epstein update for you as well. This is kind of crazy. So the FBI is currently examining 2 broken cameras outside the jail cell where Epstein was, where he died. Apparently 2 of these cameras reportedly malfunctioned.
That's
quote unquote.
such a load of shit. Who is believing this? I don't think I haven't seen really anyone defending Jeffrey Epstein or being like, no, it was definitely a suicide. I feel like most people are saying like, what the
This is
hell?
way
This
too
is
fishy,
weird.
man. It's way too
I
fishy.
feel like this is making some conspiracy theorists just, because
Right,
people
go
are
wild,
like, whoa.
yeah.
No, just like literally making some new conspiracy
Oh,
theorists.
yeah. Just people questioning the
Yeah, 'cause they're like,
official story. Yeah.
What the hell? This doesn't make any sense.
Because, like, come on. Like, they just malfunction. Like, they happen to malfunction
Yeah, that's very
during
convenient.
the most important time this jail's ever faced, practically. Like,
Yeah, and the judge, they all wrapped that whole
Yeah.
case up this week
oh,
too.
yeah. Yeah,
The
they
victim
dismissed
statements from the girls. Yep.
dismissed the whole criminal case against Epstein.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that doesn't mean necessarily we're not going to see justice for the victims, because apparently the prosecutor said they're still going to try to
They're
go
gonna
after
try.
any co-conspirators, but I think it's a lot harder
It's
without
gonna be
them.
hard. It's gonna be hard.
Because they can just deny.
Those
They'll be
girls
like,
know it too. They know they got so screwed
soon
by
as
this
that- yeah.
happening.
Because he could have, they might have been able to flip Epstein or something and get him to.
Yeah, if you
Spill
guys
a
are
bunch of
interested, you
information.
can type in like Jeffrey Epstein victim statements on YouTube, and they'll probably come up. I think they're on there, and it's just interesting to hear what they all went through. It was really rough.
Yeah, like the allegation against Alan Dershowitz. I was watching him, like, I think he was on Fox News or something, and he was just sitting there, like, denying everything, just being like, this is totally false. They're just making shit up basically for money and things like that. And it's just
Sure.
like, really? That just seems like so unlikely to me,
It really does.
So they're actually sending the cameras to the FBI crime lab, which is the big one in Quantico,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, hopefully they can figure out. But apparently one of the cameras is not like totally fucked and has some footage they might be able to pull from it. And these cameras should literally show us exactly what happened, because you're already seeing. I don't know. I was at the grocery store and the National Enquirer is already like putting shit on there, like, it wasn't really him. Is he really dead? Things like that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
And
actually.
people are thinking that maybe it was like staged and things like
It
that.
could be.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be for sure, but
I've seen like pictures, but it's hard to tell online whether or not things are real or
just
photoshopped
doctored
or
or
anything.
something,
But I've
yeah.
seen like comparisons of like the body they brought out compared to like a side profile of his actual face, and they like look different.
well, and I mean,
I
we
don't know,
never
there's
got a
definitely some
full on
theories.
shot of him or anything coming out of
Nothing
the
would
hospital or
shock me,
anything.
man. I mean, there's some sketchy shit going on.
It's true. It's true.
So
The
it'll be interesting to
possibilities-
see what comes back from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. the possibilities are always there, man.
How much you want to bet this will either just drop off or they'll be like, yeah, we weren't able to do anything.
Yeah,
They're
or the
broken as
crime
shit.
lab takes like 9 months or like 2 years
People
to like
forget,
extract
but then-
it. Yeah. I don't know. I think bottom line is that we probably won't ever know the truth about Jeffrey Epstein, unfortunately.
No.
And that's just the nature of the situation. And because really powerful people are involved and, it's easy to cover shit up. But the last story I've got for you is actually a very good story. Good news story.
Love hearing these.
So this is about a man named George Gannon, who was told by doctors in Thailand that he only had months to live after a grave diagnosis of not 1, but 12 brain tumors.
That's wild.
That's crazy,
That's
man.
a lot.
I can't even imagine getting like the news spilled.
I wonder
too,
how
like-
big they each were. That's so big. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean they have to be big necessarily, but 12.
Gosh, that's so many though.
That's serious, man. So after diagnosis and immediate return to the UK, George took matters into his own hands, which allowed him to achieve like a
Really?
miracle, essentially. The 30-year-old began using CBD oil in December of last year before stopping chemotherapy treatments in February due to significant deterioration of his health caused by the powerful chemotherapy tablets, which is just so true. Like chemotherapy is just so brutal,
hard on
man.
your body. Yeah.
I've watched like somebody go through it before and it just like, I mean, it's
Devastating.
nearly kills you because it's trying to kill your body of
Right.
all the cancer, but
It's like a tough balance almost.
it's like barely being alive though, man.
so
It's
hard.
miserable.
Yeah.
It's super hard. So he was doing chemotherapy. And what George said about it was that, quote unquote, the medication I was being subscribed was literally destroying me. I looked like the poster person for cancer. I was so ill. It all got very dark. It felt as though the doctors assume I don't have long left and just kind of gave up on.
I feel like that's how a lot of patients end up feeling too.
And there were even talks of me going into hospice at one point.
Damn, how depressing.
But that's when him and his girlfriend began researching alternative methods of treatment. And the more they read about CBD, the more promising it sounded. So they made the decision to come off the drugs by choice and decided to take a natural path using cannabis oil instead. And after 3 months of CBD oil use 3 times a day at a cost of $1,600 per month, which is cheap compared to what chemotherapy costs, scans showed that George's tumors stopped growing.
Wow.
Literally. And like it could only be related to the CBD because that's all he was doing.
I've seen multiple stories like this, especially about brain tumors being reduced. That's what I see often.
Yeah.
This happened to one of my friends with cancer. She
Really?
was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer at age 21, went through the regular treatment, and it was just destroying her.
Is this one of your
And,
coworkers?
Yeah, and it was destroying her, and she ended up being like, you know what, screw this, I'm going to try and do more natural path, and she said that she doused herself in CBD, and I think THC as well,
Wow.
and then ate like all organic,
Yeah,
really,
really
really
healthy.
nutritious foods. Until this day, she's like, I mean, I owe it to cannabis for literally saving my life.
Did she do CBD oil or THC
Yes.
oil?
Both. But
Both.
she said CBD was like an all day constant thing, and
Interesting.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because this guy used just CBD.
yeah, I know it's
But I've heard
she also uses THC too, but
THC is supposed to make the CBD work even better.
yeah, well, they were combined, and I think for like also like helping with nausea and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
THC can really help.
Yeah.
Oh
with
my
that.
gosh, it does a lot. It makes a big difference with that.
So, anyways,
That's so
it's crazy.
interesting.
I mean,
hope
there's so many
there'll be
stories
more
like that,
research
though.
into it because it seems like it's so much of a better route. You don't
Yeah,
have to
it
go
is.
through chemotherapy, and
Yeah.
it could possibly work. And of course, it may not work for everyone. It's a huge decision. We're not saying like everyone with
Don't
cancer
do
should.
chemotherapy or something.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, he
it's
did.
just best for you personally, and it's different in every case. But this is really awesome to see this happening, and hopefully, there's even more money put into this and research.
Yeah, I totally think it will because it's pretty much legal in most places. But to wrap up his story, essentially what he did was he started taking CBD oil constantly. It got him to a point where he felt actually like decent enough to go through another round of chemotherapy. And so he did a very like a low dose of it. But then the MRI results afterwards revealed that he was essentially cancer free in less than a year.
Wow. So I wonder if
So
he would have
it
been able to
teamed
without the
up.
tiny bit of it.
Well,
Interesting.
if
So
you
maybe if
reduce the
them working
tumor-
in combination could be really useful for some people.
Well, I think the main thing with it is like chemotherapy works well in getting rid of the tumors, but I think if you
Right.
can stunt the growth of them, I don't know if
Yeah.
the chemotherapy always does that. So if the CBD oil does that for you, then, the two teamed together might be able to knock it out like it did for this guy, which is pretty incredible. And I mean, like we talked about previously, it's already been proven to be 30 times more effective as a pain relief or pain reliever than aspirin. And
I'm so happy to see so much coming out about the benefits of it medically, and for more people to understand that and see how it can impact people like this guy on such a huge level. It's just awesome to see. It's such a miracle plant. It should be legal everywhere.
No, seriously. And last little bit, Rob Gronkowski of the New England Patriots, retired, and he has just been like brutalized with injuries. If you don't know who he is, he's a really famous football player, but he just got beat up like crazy throughout his career and just was messed up. He was like talking about that, how after they won the Super Bowl, he couldn't even like party that night because he just was like in so much pain from, football's like gladiator sport, So, he retired early. He's only 29, and now he is partnering up with a CBD company and like promoting it to other, trying to get the NFL to allow it. Like the NFL should absolutely be allowing cannabis products and players to use them. The fact that they don't is insane.
They're showing we've watched things on football players, other football players, lesser known ones than Rob. Yeah. But people who have retired and that have CTE.
Yeah, totally.
Which stands for what again? CTE.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting. Janelle, will you look it up? I forget what it stands for, but it's basically from being hit in the head over and over again, having multiple concussions.
It's chronic traumatic and some, I'm not going to try it, but it's basically a neurodegenerative disease that caused by repeated head injuries.
Yeah. Yep. And so tons of football players end up with this.
Because you're smacking your heads together all day, every day. So
and CBD can be really good for it, even THC oil as well. So
it's just cool to see it, branching out. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of these dumb crimes, man.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
It's gonna be really entertaining. But before we do, we want to thank our first sponsors for today. I don't know if you're a music lover like I am, but one thing that is super important to me is a great pair of headphones, better yet, wireless earbuds for the gym, for going just out and about. They're easy to carry. And boy, do I have a recommendation for you. You need to check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon. If you didn't already know, Raycon earbuds start about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing. But their latest model is the best one yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. Seriously, their earbuds are really comfortable and they actually stay in your ear. They give you different size little ear pads, which are super helpful so you get that perfect fit. When I go to the gym, I don't have to worry about my earbuds falling out of my ears as I'm doing different exercises. They really do stay in there good and they sound amazing, and I'm not just saying that. What's also cool about them is they come in a bunch of different colors. They don't have dangling wires or stems. They come with a little chargeable case that you put them back into when you're done using them. And this company was actually founded by Ray J, and other celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Cardi B also love Raycon as well. So make sure you pick up your pair to see what all the hype is about. And now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. You can get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/milehigher. That's buyraycon.com/milehigher for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Again, buyraycon.com/milehigher for 15% off.
So recently I've been switching to a lot of all natural and cruelty-free beauty products. And one of those products I've had to, rediscover is deodorant. A lot of the deodorants I was using had a lot of harmful chemicals in them, including aluminum, which may be linked to breast cancer. So that's definitely not something I wanted to be using anymore. I mean, you think about your underarms, their pores, and stuff's going in as well as out. I've tried a bunch of different natural deodorants, and Native is by far my favorite. I love Native because it comes in a bunch of different scents. You can find one that, works for you. I've been personally loving their lavender sage as well as their almond coconut, which has been really nice. And keep in mind, when switching to a natural deodorant, your body does have to get used to those natural ingredients. So you do have to, kind of wait a couple of weeks before you're going to see the best results. There's no risk to try Native. They offer free returns and exchanges in the USA. And you can also do their subscribe and save option, which saves you 17%, which is $2 per stick. And that really adds up. And it is delivered to your door every 1, 2, 3, or 4 months, depending on what's best for you and how much you go through. So check it out today and get 20% off your first purchase at nativedeodorant.com and use the code MILEHIGHER during checkout for 20% off. That is 20% off your first purchase at nativedeodorant.com unexplained.com using the code MILEHIGHER during checkout.
Alrighty, so this first crime is about a man named Klaus Schmidt, who in August of 1995 tried to rob a bank in Berlin, just the normal way, walking in with a gun and demanding money. Obviously, this is pretty standard, but as the robbery progressed, the bank employees noticed that the criminal was acting rather strangely. At one point, one of them asked the robber if he needed a bag, and he replied, "You're damn right, it's a real gun," in quotes. So like, you're like, what? I was like, you need a bag? He's like, it's a great gun. And then this made them realize that Schmidt had a noticeable handicap. He was deaf. Taking advantage, the employee was like, okay, well, what you're trying to do in a bank is there's like a little button under the desk. You flip it and it turns on an alarm and stuff. And so he did that, and the robber's just completely oblivious because he can't hear this incredibly loud alarm that's going off.
Oh my gosh.
And the police approaching the bank. He was completely calm and patient, just continuing to, spout off threats like, give me the money, blah, 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 oblivious to the fact that the alarm's on, the cops are literally at the door. And he didn't even make it out of the bank. I don't even think he got out the door before the cops just like walked in behind him and arrested him because he couldn't hear what was going on. But now he's pissed because now he's in jail for the bank robbery.
Well,
but he's
he
trying to
wouldn't have gotten away
sue.
anyway.
He's trying to sue the bank for taking advantage of
his
disability. Yes.
Oh my gosh. No, that is not an excuse for robbing a bank, my friend.
No, if anything, I mean, that's like smart.
All right.
What do you got next, Kendall?
So you may have already seen this story on our Instagram account at Mile Higher Podcast. We post stuff there first, but this is a crazy story I've been following this week. This is about the Botox bandit, okay? So this story is out of Sugar Land, Texas, and this woman is still on the loose. Police are looking for her, and she is now struck twice, actually.
Damn.
Yes, so
She's a serial robber now.
she is. So if you recognize the woman in this clip, guys, let us know. Police are still looking for her as of the time we are recording this podcast. But this is the first video I posted the other night to our Instagram account if you want to hit play. She basically pulls up to a med spa, which is like, Botox injections, Juvederm, all that kind of stuff. And she uses a power tool to break into the building in the middle of the night. She just got her car like out right in front.
She's cutting the glass on the door too.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Cutting glass. It's like, yeah, we have the sound off, but yeah, she pulls the glass out in one big piece, gently sets it down, sneaks her ass in there. Once she gets in, she actually leaves. She decides to move her car so that no one will be suspicious. And
even though she has no mask on, there's cameras, security cameras.
Yeah, nothing. So she goes in and she steals $7,000 worth of Botox creams.
Wow.
Yeah. Botox creams, Botox injections, a bunch of expensive shit. Cost the guy $7,000. And then he also had to fix the door that she broke. I mean, the glass window.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So listen to him.
It was stunning to see how determined she was to get in using a power tool.
She was driving a light colored Mercedes SUV, and they're saying that she's a soccer mom. That's what they're calling her, but I don't think they ever figured out who she is. They said they were still looking for her. And then she struck again. You guys, play this news clip.
The so-called Botox bandit strikes again. Tonight, the owner of the Sugar Land Med Spa, broken into just last week, says the same woman hit another location, making off with more Botox. Channel 2's Brittany Jeffers live near Greenway Plaza tonight with the crime alert. Brittany?
Dominique, if you take a look, you can see the extent of the damage out here. And the business owner tells me that this is twice in 1 week that he's had this kind of a cleanup. After pushing on the shattered storefront at 2:12 in the morning, a woman inches her way through shards of glass. Alfonso Perez showed me the mess that he discovered the next morning.
We found a incredible scene. Somebody had sawed off some of the window and pulled the rest of the window out to get in.
He called HPD and says the woman left a trail of blood hitting room
And she ransacked through here.
after room at Botox RN Med Spa.
She put syringes, needles, alcohol swabs.
In all, about $9,000 worth of anti-aging products and Botox.
It was like, this cannot really be happening again to us.
So yeah, she
Holy shit.
Yeah, same business, different
Do we know it's the
locations,
same
I
woman
believe.
though?
Well, they believe so. There's footage of her. Actually, I think it was still in the rest of that clip, but yeah, you can keep playing it, I guess.
7 days ago, his business in Sugar Land was also burglarized. We showed you the video of the woman using a battery-powered grinding saw to get in. And Perez thinks the same thief hit him twice.
We believe it's the same person because it's exactly the same way.
He says the woman's Mercedes also looks similar, but this can't continue. Now, the business owner tells me that he was upset because he says that his ADT cameras here didn't trigger the alarm or capture any video, but he was very grateful that there was surveillance video out here from neighboring businesses at this strip mall center.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Okay, well that clears up that question. Yeah. Was it the same person?
I know.
She doesn't even bother. Like, she's not even hiding though. Like,
No.
what's wrong with you?
She's just like
what are you
completely
doing?
out there. She's not wearing a mask or anything. And she's
No.
already been caught once. So why would you do it again?
And now her blood's all
target
over
the
the
same
scene?
guy.
Yeah.
He's like, and he said that he doesn't think that she's trying to target him specifically. It's nothing personal. He thinks she just like is targeting their med spa because they have the best products. So it's almost like a advertisement for
Oh
him.
my
He's been
god!
kinda
Of
saying,
course
okay.
they're doing that. But she's like not even using gloves, guys. Like, she's just pushing the
Yeah.
glass. She's got blood all over the glass. They're gonna ID her like ASAP. I'm sure they.
My
gathered
question
her
is,
blood.
do you think she's using it on herself? I mean, she clearly uses some of it on herself. You can tell she has Botox literally from the cameras. But could she be using all of that for herself? Do you
No,
think
she's probably selling it too.
Yeah, she's probably getting it for some other girls too.
Black market, man?
Selling
make
it
money.
around the neighborhood.
I bet you if you went and like Google, like a lot, what they do is they go on like Facebook Marketplace and they start selling it there and stuff.
She's on next door like, hello, if any of you ladies out there are seeking some Botox treatment, hit me
Oh
up.
my gosh.
I've got the plug. All right.
Yeah, well, maybe by next week we'll be able to update you guys that the Botox bandit has been shut down and captured. But as of right now, she's still on the loose. So watch out. Hide your Botox, ladies and gentlemen.
So this next story is kind of interesting. So if you're a Simpsons fan, which I am, I don't know, are you guys Simpsons fans? Did you ever watch The Simpsons at all?
Anything I have seen, I think is really entertaining, but I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid. Like, it was the only show that was banned in my house, literally. My mom let us watch
Really?
anything else, but no Simpsons. I don't
That's
really
so
know
funny.
why, because it's not that bad.
No, it's not
From
that
what I've
bad.
seen, it's not too bad.
No, it's
Simpsons
not bad
is
at
a
all. There's a
legendary
lot
show.
worse out there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this like classic Simpsons episode called Lisa the Skeptic, in which Homer and a few other Springfield criminals fall for a police sting involving free motorboats. It's a really funny episode, actually. So in 2011, Derbyshire, England police actually used a similar strategy by offering wanted criminals free beer. So they like got a van
Wow.
and a bunch of like, boxes of beer, and they sent notices. Or the criminals actually got notices from undercover officers being like, hey, come get a free crate of beer. And so they actually were assigned a number and everything and set up a time and place to collect their winnings. Like, they told them they won this free box of beer, and they're like, oh,
And they didn't
sweet.
tell them it's the police.
Right,
giving
exactly,
it to
because it
them.
was all an undercover operation, and they showed up
Wow.
and they got arrested. They caught all those guys
Wow.
with free beer.
They should do that in America for some of the criminals they're after, but just offer something better than just free beer.
I don't
Like,
think that the beer works
you
in
won
America.
a raffle or something. Like, you won $10,000.
Money.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
could probably get some fugitives to come out for that.
But I feel like in America, like, so many like savvy criminals are, used to
Yeah.
undercover police doing shit like,
Yeah.
things like that to catch them.
That's actually hilarious that they did that and it worked.
Yeah, but it actually works. That's crazy.
so awesome. So I found this next story last night and I was laughing so hard at this. This is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. So there was this girl. She was 19 at the time in Nebraska in 2013. And she ended up doing some very bad things. She robbed a bank. She stole a car.
Yeah.
And after she did all these things, she got away with it. But she went home and she decided to brag about it on YouTube. So she made this video, and I've edited this video because it was so old and like it was almost like stop motion. I had to like speed it up and stuff. But play this. This is the weirdest thing. You can just play it. There's no sound.
Okay.
I took out the sound because the video is just Green Day, actually. So it's really sped up. But she says, I stole a car. She shows a little pipe she's smoking right now, and then she talks about how she's like filling a full bowl of weed, something. And then she's showing her weed that she has, and
Oh my God.
sorry, this part's like, dude, what are you doing? She was clearly high. An ounce of, and I don't even know.
What a random video.
Yeah, just wait. It's so funny. She said, I stole a car. And then she starts talking about how the car is shiny. She says, I'm rich. I can pay off my financial aid. And tomorrow I'm going on a shopping spree. So it continues of her. So she's doing like this old thing, if you're
Where you, like,
listening, where you hold up signs. This was like a big trend back then too. You remember?
Yeah.
So many people made videos like that, or they did it on their hands
for
or
messages.
something.
Usually it's about serious stuff.
Yeah.
Not like...
She's like literally confessing to her crime. So, and then I robbed a bank. And
But
she's
her
like, oh my gosh.
signs-
So wait, then she gets it out. Here's her cash. Look at
my
it. She
God.
shows all the cash. It's $6,000. She
Oh
says exactly
my
how
God.
much it was. I told my mom she thinks I met a new boy because she's so happy that her mom thinks something good happened to her.
Yeah.
She shows it all. And then during this whole thing, it's just blasting Green Day. And the video's 8 minutes long. This is
my
way
God.
sped up. Why? She goes, because she is a victim of the government, is
Okay.
what she said.
All
She
right.
said that the whole system's a joke and that they took her son, which is very scary thinking that this woman
Gotcha.
possibly has a baby, but they stole my baby. They took him away. So she decides to rob a bank. So yeah, she ended up getting caught because of this. Someone reported this to the
Well,
police. Yeah, and she would have possibly gotten away with it if she didn't. But she did rob this bank. There's a picture of her robbing the bank.
Huh.
Yeah. She was literally on camera and they were able to connect it and found out that it was the exact same amount. She also stole a car and everything. So they went and arrested her. There's pictures of them arresting her. And when she was arresting them, she actually handed them a note. Or when she was robbing the bank, she
handing
handed
the
them a
teller
note
the
and
note,
said,
yeah.
you are being robbed. No alarms, no locks or phones, or ink bags. I have a loaded gun. You have 2 minutes. So she
Wow.
ended up having to give all of it back. They got everything back except for $30. And she,
Wow.
got arrested.
Yeah, and she was... And not only did she go home and like get on YouTube and record a video, but she didn't even bother to change her clothes or nothing.
No.
They ID'd her, like, obviously because of her
Yes.
face, but the clothes.
The
clothes
same outfit. It was
same
like the
outfit.
same day they were able to put
Dumb.
everything together.
Dumb.
Like she immediately went home and was like, look what I did, guys. Like while I'm smoking a bowl.
Bragging about robbing a bank and getting a free
Unreal.
car.
Isn't that so crazy that she did that too?
What the hell? What did she think was going to happen?
I know.
Like, you can't just do that
I know.
and expect to get
And
away
she had
with
Green
it.
Day on the whole time.
Oh,
Like
I
she was
know.
like so hard.
Yeah.
She's like, I walk a lonely road. It was so good.
Wow.
So this next one is a cold case. Literally. The Blue Bell ice cream liquors. Some of you may have seen this on social media earlier this summer. I think the first time this happened, at least that we know of, that it went viral was like earlier this summer, maybe July. And it was really, really disgusting. This girl decided to open a container of ice cream, a Blue Bell container, because they don't have the plastic seal on theirs,
Right.
which is good. I mean, reducing plastic, that's why they don't have it. Now they are putting them on there, sadly, because this went viral. So
Yeah.
it became a really serious issue. And the most recent one was a 24-year-old who put this on his social media. His name is Deadrian Anderson. And the thing was, let's first play the clip, actually.
Come on, let's go. Hurry up.
This isn't funny to me. It like makes me mad.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
yeah,
It's so
it's fucked up,
irritating.
man.
It's so gross. So yeah, so he's 24 years old. So what they found out is he actually didn't just put it back. He ended up getting that container after the video was done. There's actual footage of him on the security cameras at the location buying the container that he licked. So he only posted it for clout, like being like, oh, look what I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
But then he
yeah.
ended up buying it anyway and took it home. So it didn't really matter. But because of this, the store was like under scrutiny because it like went viral again. And Blue Bell had to dump, or the store, I guess, had to pay for a bunch of the ice cream that they just had to get
Right,
rid of
because
to
how
be safe.
how do they know that he didn't go
Yeah.
and look more? you know?
Exactly.
So
So they were pressing charges against him because he's 24 years old. The thing is, this is actually punishable up to a year and a $4,000 fine possible.
which it should be. You shouldn't be able to go into a grocery store and open up a bunch of food,
yeah,
fuck it up, and
Yeah.
then put it back for somebody else
especially
to
for
get
clout, really.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, this happened back in July the first time, and it was
Mm-hmm.
this girl. So you can play the clip of the girl doing it.
Lick it. Oh, you foul. Put it back. Put it back.
So, yeah, pretty disgusting.
I don't understand, man. Like, what are we really at that level for clout now?
Oh,
like,
we were eating Tide
Yeah.
Pods last year, so
Yeah, right?
who
Well,
could
I
do the
mean,
most shocking thing?
Actually, this was not like well received on the internet at all. People like ripped this girl. Like everyone, it went viral because people are sharing it. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, this is sick. So
It's the same as like if you go to a buffet and you walk through the buffet and spit on everything.
yes, or like yeah,
It's the same thing.
That's so gross.
Like
It's
that's
so sick.
Who wants that? That's disgusting.
yeah. Now that they have to like change their ice cream packaging for that, I'm pretty sure they're doing that.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
The first time that it happened, the girl was under 17, so she just got a warning that she could have faced up to 20 years in jail and fines up to $10,000. It is not a joke. She is so lucky that she's young, and they were actually just gonna charge the boyfriend because he was the one filming it, being like, "Oh, you're nasty," blah blah blah. He was, basically partaking in the
Yeah,
act, and he was
the criminal
over
mischief.
17, so they were about to charge his ass. They decided not to, but
Which the charge is criminal mischief is what they're charging these people with, which is pretty much what it is.
yeah, so
But-
people better stop, because even if you buy this shit and you just do it for clout, they're still going to come after you.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
There's been like a few people doing this too. I don't think these two are the only ones.
there's gonna be pretty soon. You're gonna go to like the grocery store and go down the freezer aisle, and they're
Yeah.
gonna have like armed security down there, like making
No,
sure
they
people
did.
do. Like,
They actually did.
No fucking way. Seriously, they got armed
yes.
security for this?
A Corpus Christi location in Texas, several hours away from this location, placed an employee with a water gun outside the freezer
Water
to keep
gun?
potential ice cream lickers away because it was trending.
Hey, you!
That's so great.
Just like with a super soaker, like
I was dying reading that. That's really, really funny. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks for Bluebell because this has been like a major thing for them.
Well, and
Just
then
'cause
they had
some
the-
girl decided to lick it.
yeah. And then like not that long ago, they had the whole like E. coli or
Yeah.
whatever issue.
Yeah, they just got out of the
They
news for
just
that.
got back on their feet, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
fuck! Now you guys are doing this to us. What the hell?
I know.
That's ridiculous."
So, yeah,
that's kind of a funny one.
that's
though,
it for the
sure.
cold case.
So the next thing I got is about a robber who gives a cashier his phone number when he's doing an armed robbery. So in 2008, this 18-year-old named Ruben wanted to rob a muffler shop in Chicago. So he entered the store armed with a gun and demanded money. But there was a problem. Most of the money, as in most establishments or businesses, is located in the safe, right? Like they don't keep like every bit of money they have up front. So the guy that was working there was like, "Dude, I can't open the safe. It's only the manager can open it." He's like, "Okay, well, let me give you my cell phone number so you can call me when the manager gets in so I can come back."
What is wrong with people?
Yeah, like what?
How on earth did you think that was going to end well, bro?
He was like, he wanted to be efficient, so he decided to save time and just give him the cell phone number and call him when the manager returns. Of course, the employee probably was like dying inside. It was
It's
like,
yeah, sure, man. Right after I called
yeah,
the police.
Yeah, sure thing. So he calls the police, and then they just had it was like they staged a sting for him, like on himself.
Oh my God.
Set himself up.
What a dumbass.
So the police were at the establishment. They called the guy. He's like, "Hey, my manager's here to unlock the safe for you." So the guy came back and ended up shooting
Oh my God.
and got in a shootout with officers
Oh, damn.
because they were
this got
waiting for him.
crazy.
He was like, "Oh shit," and like freaked
Had
out
his
and
gun
started
with him, damn.
shooting at him. But ultimately, he got arrested and went to jail,
What an idiot.
all because of himself, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Dude,
Fucking
most
crazy.
of these criminals end up getting caught because of themselves. It's so funny.
God, what is this Australian man?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is just a little clip. This is just funny. I don't have a ton of the story behind this, but basically, you can go ahead and play the clip
Okay.
because I'm just going to talk over it. But this guy pulls up to a gas station and decides he wants to steal the ATM inside the gas
Which
station.
people do this. People do this a lot, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the first I'd ever seen of it. So if you're listening, he basically takes like a chain
Right.
and ties it to his car, and then he breaks into the gas station
Which is
through the
closed.
window.
Yeah.
Obviously. He smashes in, he crawls his ass into the gas station, goes back and chains the ATM to
Right.
his chain.
Yeah.
But in the process, it breaks and he doesn't realize that it breaks. So he goes out, doesn't even fucking look down or anything,
Double
starts
check.
leaving. So he leaves, doesn't work. Then he comes fucking back. He's like, "Oh shit." So he goes back. He's like, "Oh
Dude.
damn, my thing got messed up." But it's too short to connect it this time. So he just decides, at this point, I'm just going to give up. And he fucking just
Wow.
leaves.
Wow. That's
Isn't it
actually
the
really
funniest
funny
clip?
because I've seen people successfully pull this off.
No
but
way.
Yeah. No, actually, when I worked at the bank, this was something that we had. They do like these, meetings every quarter.
Yeah, Joshua
annually.
worked at a bank, by the way. You should explain this
Yeah,
because
well,
your background's in tech support, so people are probably like, wait.
Yeah,
when were
so
you at a
I
bank?
was in between tech support jobs or IT jobs, and I randomly got a job as a bank teller in this tiny, tiny town in northern Colorado, and I learned a lot. But they actually like sent us to these like annual meetings with the bank to like tell you about robbery and like
Yeah.
what to expect because
Yeah.
it happens a lot actually.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, there's bank robberies all the day. All the day there's bank robberies. No, but because people now, people you least expect are robbing banks because they don't have to be like big and scary anymore. You literally slip a piece of paper, you flip it over, and as a teller, you're just trained to do exactly what the paper
Yeah.
says.
Wow.
So people commit robberies like that all the time. But they did tell us about that. They literally, like locally, Colorado banks, like this happens all over the place where it's usually the ones on the outside drive-throughs.
Interesting.
If they're kind of too far out and there's a way to back up to it, which is why they put them at the very front close to
yeah.
the building.
Right.
So you can't get a truck in there and really get a good angle on it.
Yeah, and a lot of banks, though, there's like multiple places to pull up, but you can only like get money out of the closest one to the
Out of
bank.
the ATM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of the banks that, a lot of the older banks, they have them kind of farther out or just out. Sometimes you see them in parking lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will go up to them and just like rip them out. Obviously, they build them up bigger now.
Wow.
So it's way, you can't like take, how they're like
Yeah.
almost small buildings now somewhere. So it's rare that you just see the
Damn.
machine. So yeah, it happens in real life though. People get away with
That's
it
so
too.
funny.
Steal the machine. They're like, but there's not that much money in there. People aren't
Yeah, I
realize
was
like
gonna
it's,
say, like, how much do they?
and
possibly
you
store
refill
those
it throughout
things?
the day. Usually, like
Right.
we would, at lunchtime, you go out there and count the ATM and make sure it has enough to last the rest of the day. It's not like
Yeah.
the bank puts thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of
just
dollars out
sitting
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought
man.
that was really funny.
But what is this next one here?
Okay, so this guy is quite an interesting dude. So this guy was 22 years old at the time. His name is James Blankenship. And he was charged into breaking and entering into his actual mother's home. So I'm guessing there was some type of shitty relationship. And she's like, you can't come to my house anymore.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck away from me. So he broke into her house, did it through the first floor window. And he's not been apparently welcome into his mother's home for like 3 months at this point.
Yeah.
He didn't have any possessions on the premises, so he didn't have any right to be there. Not that he would anyway. But once he was discovered by his mother, he just fled the scene. And a neighbor had alerted the police that they had witnessed a man running behind the home. So he was discovered in a crawl space not far from his mother's house. And at the time of the crime, it was like the middle of the day.
Yeah.
He said to the police, I didn't think I could be arrested because it was daytime. And I thought you could only be arrested for burglary at night. He literally thought you could only be arrested for breaking and entering at night.
Which sounds ridiculous, but I can see how like some people would think that.
Why?
Because
Yeah,
I
what?
think that
Rules only apply at night?
no,
Like,
but I
what?
think just like like especially if you're just growing up like on the younger side.
Yeah.
The only times you really see
He's
people
22,
think
but-
of people burglarizing is at night. Like if you think about it as a kid,
I guess he
you don't
figured
think
like,
somebody's going to break in your house during the
Yeah.
day. It's at night where you start having those fears that somebody could be out
yeah.
trying
I
to
guess
break
maybe
in.
he's like, I only thought I could be arrested at my mom's house. if
But
it
that's
was
funny.
during
The
day.
fact that the resting part is like,
know.
dude, come on.
I know.
A crime's a crime, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was surprised to find out that you can be arrested no matter what time of day it is.
God.
I know. I thought that was funny.
But this next one I've got is pretty funny. Before I talk about it, though, I just want to thank our last sponsors for today.
So as a human, we need nutrients. And these days, it's actually very hard to get nutrients into our bodies because our food isn't always as fresh as it should be. It doesn't always have the amount of nutrients that it should when it's freshly cut. And then, they have to take it and bring it to the grocery store. And by then, it loses all the good stuff that you need. So even if you have a bunch of kale salads and drinks green smoothies, you're most likely not getting the essential nutrients that you need on a daily basis. This is where Ritual comes in handy. Ritual's essentials have the nutrients that most of us don't get enough from food, all in their clean, absorbable forms. No shady additives, no weird ingredients that can do more harm to your body than good. Just 2 easy to take capsules that provide 9 nutrients that you need to support a strong foundation for your overall health. I've been using Ritual for about a month and I love how easy it makes makes taking my vitamins. It's all in one convenient capsule. This is a women's multivitamin, and from D3 to omega-3, Ritual's essential for women and helps fill in gaps in a woman's diet. What's so great about it and so important to me is their capsule has a no nausea design that makes it easy on an empty stomach. There's a mint tab in every bottle that keeps things fresh so you don't get any fishy aftertaste that you normally do when you take a fish oil. You can also get Ritual delivered. A subscription is easy to start and it's easy to snooze. It's only $1 a day to have the essential nutrients that your body needs delivered every month, no strings attached. Better health doesn't happen overnight, and right now Ritual is offering my listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Fill in the gaps of your diet with essentials for women, a small step that helps support a healthy foundation for your body. Visit ritual.com/mile to start your Ritual today. That's 10% off during your first 3 months at ritual.com/mile.
So as you guys probably know, we have 2 dogs, Bernie and Sadie, and obviously their well-being and health is super important to us, and that's why we make sure we feed them good quality dog food, nothing that's highly processed or doesn't look like food at all. And that's why we made the switch to Farmer's Dog, because it's real food made fresh and delivered right to my door, which is super convenient. No more trips to the pet store for food. The Farmer's Dog is an amazing dog food because the recipes are super simple. The meat in it is human grade. You could actually eat your dog's food because it is that fresh. The ingredients are that good. When you actually pour the food into the bowl, it looks like real food. It doesn't look like mush. It doesn't look like something unknown to planet Earth or anything like that. All of the ingredients are wholesome and meet USDA standards using vet design recipes. You can customize it per breed. When you actually sign up for the Farmer's Dog, you actually do a little quiz online as you set up your account that asks you specific questions about your dog, like age, breed, and they formulate the food depending on the dog, which is really awesome. You can customize it and all of that good stuff. And perhaps what the best thing about giving your dogs a fresh food diet is the health benefits, because it's actually been linked to a wealth of them, including a smoother coat, clearer skin, regulated weight, better poops, which honestly, guys, I have noticed that like my dog's digestive systems are working extremely well. They're pooping way more, which is good because it means that, you know, things are going through their bodies. They're getting the nourishments they need. Their breath has been better, less stinky, like less gas, things like that. It's actually been really amazing to see the switch from, you know, the dry food from the bag to the fresh food. They are so much healthier now and seem happier, and they love it. They love how it tastes. So if you guys are interested in the Farmer's Dog, a smarter, healthier option, they've made it extremely simple to get your dog started. All you got to do to start your trial today is to go to thefarmersdog.com/milehigher and you'll save 50% and get free shipping. That's thefarmersdog.com/milehigher for 50% off your trial with free shipping. farmersdog.com/milehigher. Check it out today. I promise you, your dogs will thank you. This one makes me laugh. So a Boston robber snatched a woman's wallet and left behind something that belonged to him. That's very important and you should not lose. And that was his birth certificate. This guy's running around snatching people's belongings. He's running around with his birth certificate.
What?
Yeah. So he stole the wallet, which only had $40 in cash and the victim's ID. However, during the struggle of getting these items, he dropped 2 bags of his own.
What a dummy.
Yeah.
And he just happened to be carrying his birth certificate?
At the very top of it. It wasn't even hidden in there. It was just like laying there in plain sight. Like,
God, what the hell?
Yep. Which
How
identified
dumb
him.
can you be to carry your personal identification?
Especially your birth certificate if you're going to be running around. That's the one thing like I never really understand with like some criminals is like,
I don't think it through.
why are you not thinking this through? Like if you're going to go pick up a bunch of this, why would you then drive like crazy on the highway and get
Not
pulled
all
over?
criminals are
Like,
smart,
what are you
man.
doing, man? But yeah,
Seriously.
they identified this guy. His name was
Wow.
Zachary Titani, a 26-year-old resident of Connecticut.
Wow.
And then if it wasn't enough, the bag also contained a letter from his mother addressed to him.
Oh my gosh, why would you have these things? Like, yeah, I'm going for a robbery. I'm going to take a bunch of personal items. What?
And then he had the audacity to pretend like he wasn't the person when the police called him, he pretended not to be that person. Even though they had all this information.
They're like, then how did your stuff just like end up in their house?
Yeah.
Your birth certificate.
That's just so weird, right? Who runs around
Idiot.
like most people's birth certificates are like locked away somewhere, you know, like he's running around with it in his bag while he's snatching purses. Like, what the hell?
Oh my God. Okay, dude, this next guy,
This just sounds funny.
meat thief,
Sausage
thief out of Austin, Texas. Okay. This guy's name is Ricardo Cardona. And he got drunk out in Austin, which we got drunk when we were in Austin. Speaking of which, that was a fun time.
We was lit.
6th Street is lit, y'all.
is lit.
We got very drunk. It was very fun. But we had a performance the next day. So it was a little stressful.
Say, if anyone came,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks.
It was
but-
rough the night before, but we pulled it together, and that's all that matters. Austin is a fun place. And this guy got totally fucked up, and he ended up going to a store called Hudson Meats.
Dude, I walked past that place.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
That's really
I walked
funny.
past that place a couple times. Yeah, it's like a famous
On your
like
way to Voodoo
meats
Dog.
place.
Yeah, so play the video clip. He decided that he got hungry and he wanted some sausage. Nothing was stopping him. All right, so you can see him pushing on the door. I also slowed this clip down so it looks like everything's happening a little bit slower because it was slightly sped up. But he literally pushes down this huge door. Sneaks, watch
I'm
this.
hungry.
He pushes the whole freaking door down too. Boom, breaks their door, falls his ass in. And then he's like trying to figure out how to get into the freezer. He's going to make himself a little sausage snack because he's drunk.
Oh my God. He's like, I'm hungry, man.
Yeah, and they were closed, of course.
I would do this
so.
at Taco Bell at like 3 a.m.
And then he goes back on there, puts on an employee's coat, and then falls asleep.
Oh my
The
God.
employees actually came to work the next day and found his ass sleeping
No
in
way.
the office after eating their food.
Oh my God.
So he just broke in,
Yep.
made himself a sausage sandwich,
And then fell asleep
and
in
then
the back
took a nap.
office.
And
Yep.
now has fucking burglary charges, everything else, trespassing.
Yep.
Wow.
The police officers ended up, they called the police, obviously. They came, they woke him up and told him, like, yo, man, you've been out drinking and you're sleeping in Hudson's Meats right now.
So this wasn't like, it wasn't like he was planning to hit this place and
No, he just was
break.
like, I'm hungry and drunk.
He
And
just
he was like,
happened to walk
nothing's
by.
stopping me. And he went in.
Yeah.
And the store owner said that the insurance money paid for the replacement door, so it was all good.
Yeah, and he put it down really gently too. He was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
got to be
that's-
careful."
I know. Well, it also looked like that because I slowed down the clip.
Oh, I got you.
It's about half the speed, but yeah.
Yeah, and he only got
pretty funny.
trespassing. What a lucky guy.
I know.
Had
yeah.
a good night.
All right, now I want to know about this donkey. We have had a donkey obsession this summer because we moved out to where there's some land, and Josh's dad actually used to work at a donkey rescue.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we'll have to have him come on and talk about donkeys because he had some interesting information, folks. It was interesting.
Yes, they're very cool animals, actually.
We were considering getting one. We don't think we have enough space for one,
We'll see.
unfortunately. Maybe.
Maybe
but,
a miniature one or something.
But there's a really interesting donkey race in Colorado every year, you guys, if you ever look it up.
There is. I hope to go to it and compete one day.
I want to go. Oh my God.
Can you see me like
Take on
running?
after your dad.
It's really funny because what they do is everybody brings their donkeys and they run alongside their donkey. But
Oh my gosh.
the thing about donkeys and you'll see in this story is that they do whatever the fuck they want. Like
Yeah.
you can't tell them what to do. They're kind of
Yeah.
like, they have a mind of their own. So this story is about a
Stubborn.
getaway donkey that foils thieves in Colombia, which
He's wearing a giant
is good.
sombrero on his back. What's up with that?
so, in most robberies, people are like, I need a fast car or motorcycle or something to get away. But this gang of thieves in Colombia abducted a 10-year-old donkey named Javi. So after they abducted the donkey, the actual heist went really well. The three criminals robbed a convenience store, stealing a bunch of food and supplies and rum. And then they loaded all their goods onto the donkey, that's what's the big thing with donkeys is they can carry a ton of weight. They're super strong and they're used as like pack animals to bring things into places where, a car maybe couldn't go. So that's exactly what they did is they stole the donkey, put the goods on him. But the thing is that Javi the donkey decided not to cooperate with these thieves.
He says, I have morals.
So Javi the donkey decided not to cooperate and instead let out a series of loud brays, which we actually have a donkey pretty near us. On a neighbor has one, and
and
they
he's
go
so
like
cute.
hee haw hee haw
I
hee
know, they
haw
really
like
do
over
that.
and over again sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes we hear him.
Which this is exactly what Javi the donkey did, and it got the attention of the police. The police are like, this is weird. Like this donkey's got this
Says, "Alert,
shitload of stuff
alert,
on it.
criminals."
Yeah. So they ended up finding, they went over to the donkey and they busted these thieves.
Oh my gosh, I
and
love
realized
that.
they stole all this shit.
That's so funny.
And Javi returned home safely, which is the best part of the story.
Maybe he just like had a bad vibe, or maybe they weren't very nice to him and he was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm about to foil your plan.
Well, he probably was like, who the fuck are you? Because that's the thing about donkeys is
Maybe.
they actually remember who you are.
They
They're like
do.
a dog.
They're
They
very-
bond
yeah.
with humans and stuff. So
They're really, really smart animals.
probably what it is. They're probably like, who the hell are you? Why'd you take me from my owner?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was really funny. Oregon man allegedly breaks into home with cat spaghetti.
Okay,
What
so
the
hear
hell?
me out. I almost didn't include this because it's a very short story, but it's so funny. This guy, he's 38 years old. His name's Ryan Bishop, and he has a cat named Spaghetti. It's a very cute
I
cat.
have a meatball.
I know. I was like, we have a meatball. We could be friends, cat friends. So anyway, he decides that he wanted to break into someone's house, but not for anything bad. He broke into this couple's house in Oregon with his cat Spaghetti, like with
Brought
cat
his
in
cat with
tow.
him.
He's like, come on, let's go. Let's do this
Wow.
together. And when they were there, he ate a cupcake, made some coffee, and then found their Christmas onesie in the dryer and like
What
put
the
it on.
hell? What the hell? He's like, I need a
know.
little Christmas cheer. I'll just go over to the neighbor's house.
Yeah,
With
so
my cat.
they ended up finding his ass. They came home and he was there. And they were
So-
like, what the hell? So he ended up getting arrested for first degree burglary,
God.
first degree criminal mischief, and first degree theft for the Christmas jumper that he
Oh
took.
my God. And now his poor cat doesn't have an owner because his owner's in jail.
I know. So they actually called animal control because he was in the crawl space
You
of the
guys should
house. He stayed
adopt
there.
Spaghetti.
This is an old story, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this didn't just happen, but I'm sure he's been adopted by now. Although I would
Adopt a
gladly
spaghetti.
let him join my zoo. I don't know if our cats would be cool with a third
Spaghetti
cat.
and
Meatball would be like, what?
Yeah,
the-
Meatball would be like, no spaghetti.
and meatball.
She's like, meatballs reign supreme here, man.
He's a really cute cat, though. Actually, there's a picture of him, but I don't have it in the document.
God, that's funny though.
But
who
yeah,
breaks in
I'm
with
sure
their
he's been
cat?
adopted by now.
God, what the hell?
And the homeowner declined for her onesie to be returned.
Yeah, I would be like, the
She's
fuck?
like, nah, he can keep it. So yeah,
What
that
a
was-
weird thing to do, though. Like,
I know.
What made this guy want to do that?
It kind of
Like,
reminded me of like the Three Bears. You know, someone else reminded us of that the other night.
reminds
too.
me
We
of
were
like
talking about
Home
that.
Alone too.
Yeah,
You know,
but to just go in and like make yourself at home and like be like, I want some
and bring
coffee
your
and a
cat.
cupcake and bring my cat.
How does he? How
Me
do
and
you
my
even-
cat need to come in your house.
Oh my God, what the hell, man?
I know, it's really funny.
So I've got another dumb bank robber. This one's funny too.
There's so many dumb bank
yeah.
robbers.
Oh yeah, and this
People
one
don't think this shit through at all. It's unreal.
No. Or they just don't understand how it works or
Yeah.
anything like this guy. So on March 23rd, 2010, Albert Bailey, an unnamed juvenile accomplice, decided to rob a bank in Connecticut. And to streamline the procedure, Albert called the bank in advance to let them know that he was coming in with his buddy to rob it. And the intention here is to give the bank plenty of time to get the money ready so that the two of them could just walk in, take the cash and leave.
Wow.
I mean,
that
in-
is some really flawed thinking there.
In theory, it sounds smart. but
Please
in
get it ready
reality-
so I don't have to wait around too long and possibly get caught.
So then, and I'm pretty sure they were like in the parking lot. They were like not that far away from it because like minutes later, Albert sends in his juvenile. So that's his whole thing too with this angle is that he sent in like a minor to do his dirty work, essentially to go into the bank and actually do the robbery, with a note as well to eliminate any confusion, perhaps in the case the bank was also waiting for a different robber. And meanwhile, a bank employee had the police on the phone and updated them about everything that was happening. The robbers had demanded $100,000, but they settled for a lot less, $99,100 less to be exact. $900.
Oh my god.
And then they walked out into the arms of police who arrested them both immediately without incident.
What idiots. How did they think that was going to work at all?
I don't know, man. It makes no sense whatsoever.
You just gave them a heads up that you're coming. What?
Because I think like, you know, they probably heard or maybe they've robbed banks before. Like a lot of the money is not like in the drawers.
Yeah.
Like they keep the shit. Banks are run
Yeah.
very like tightly.
Mhm.
So that maybe he thought, you know,
Prepare
we'll
it
fool
in
the
advance,
bank.
please.
We'll fool the bank.
What? Wow, that's some really failed logic.
Because the bank's just going to call the police every single time. They're not going to
Yeah, seriously.
fall for that shit. But they face 9 years in prison for that.
Damn.
For that one fucking little thing.
Not smart.
So dumb, man.
I feel like in this day and age, it's so hard to rob a bank. Like, what are the chances of actually getting away with it and getting to keep all the money and just going off and living with it?
Totally.
You know?
And most of the times you can't even get off with that much money either.
Yeah.
Like is it even worth it to rob a
Right.
bank? And most of them are armed now. They have so much security. It's just a really stupid thing to do.
Okay. So these two men, McNeely and Miller, that's their last names, 23 and 20 years old. They are on the screen right now. They came up with a brilliant plan after getting drunk together to break into someone's apartments with fake beards and masks, literally drawn onto their face with black permanent marker.
Oh my God.
And something about the fact that they were drinking, I think that's why they decided to do this, because no one, who would do this? This makes no sense.
They literally took like a black Sharpie to their face and just scribbled all over it.
It wasn't even like
remotely.
They didn't even try.
They didn't even color it in.
Yeah, it was like they just literally like.
They must have been really fucked up then.
Really, really fucked up, right? So they decided to just go into someone's apartment. Police received a call that there was an attempted burglary, and then they later pulled over a car matching the suspect's vehicle. When they stopped them in their 94 Buick Roadmaster, they were bewildered when they found out that this drunk pair, nicknamed Dumb and Dumber, were wearing makeshift disguises literally drawn onto their face. Black ink scribbles.
I wish there was so bad this was like on an episode of Live PD or something. Like,
oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Funny. I know I was reading the article was like, I'm sure the cops were just laughing.
They're probably laughing their asses off.
You guys thought this was going to keep you from like being detected? This was a good
such great disguises,
disguising yourself. What?
Oh my, looks like a 2-year-old drew all over him.
So they were both charged with second-degree burglary, and then one of them also got drunk driving.
Imagine like going to prison and then like telling other inmates, they're like, "How'd you guys get busted?"
Like, well, we weren't wearing the best disguises.
Well, we ran out of time to get a disguise, so we just drew on each other.
Wait, shit, man, we need a disguise though before we go. He's like, oh, I got an idea. Let me grab a marker out of my mom's drawer.
And I like how this guy too has like tried to do an outline of the Batman mask.
He totally did a Batman mask
to try to make.
I like how that
cool.
guy only drew on one eye too. He's like, I'm gonna put this little like eyebrow thing on. I mean, it looks so bad. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I read in the article that some of the police officers were thinking that they did it just to like scare the people that they were breaking in, that they like were purposely trying to like freak them out or something.
Whoa, scary.
I know. So either way, it just doesn't make sense.
Wow, that's
really funny. So okay, Janelle has one too that she brought. This one's really funny.
All right, people. So this is about a 49-year-old man named Douglas, and he's from no other place than Florida.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's where all
the crazy shit happens. And
come
sorry if you're from Florida,
you
but
know.
Yeah, you know.
No, they know. They watch
know.
their local
they
news. They know what the hell's going on down
Every
there.
time I go to Florida, watching the local news is so funny.
Yeah.
So entertaining.
It's always just wild stuff.
I've watched
too.
it for like hours. Like, it's just so entertaining.
People do the weirdest stuff there, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
It's the heat.
Yeah.
All right.
Losing it.
So back in 2018, Douglas actually bought some meth from his drug dealer and went ahead and took some and had what he said was a violent reaction. So it wasn't a good trip for Sir Douglas. And he was pretty pissed off and believed that this was not actually meth and that it was laced with something, some poison or something. So he was like,
dirty shit.
My drug dealer fucking gypped me, man. So he's pretty mad at this point. So you know what he decided to do was, which I think is best, call the police. And, you know, tell him, like, look, I took these drugs. I'm pretty sure my drug dealer screwed me over. So would you be able to test the drugs for me to see if it's meth or not? And the police were like, of course, man, bring your drugs in. Come on down to the station. We'll test it for you. So that's what he did. And surprise, it was meth. You know, just not a good batch or something. And they charged him.
It's like, hey.
They charged his ass with possession. Right then and there, and walked him over to the jail.
Damn.
What did he think was going to happen? I guess he thought it's probably not meth, so they won't be able to arrest me. He must have been very,
he was
very
still trying
sure
to buy meth, right?
He didn't know what it even was.
Or maybe he thought like, I don't know. You know, in like there's like some states where you can go in like and shoot up at like certain places that are government run and
like
stuff.
safe.
Yeah, there's like I forget what they're called. They're called safe.
I don't remember that they're
safe
called.
places or something. Yeah, in some states there is. So. Not Florida. Florida's definitely not one of them. So maybe like
I don't think
in
they
his
have
head,
that in the United States. I think it's in
I was
other
gonna
countries.
say,
no, there is in
really?
New Jersey. I think is where it's at. Yeah, because I've heard Cory Booker talking about it before.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wait,
they
so
have a
what's the
place
point of
where you know instead
You
of
can
like
safely-
actually they talked about it on like the live rescue show or something like that. I heard it on there too. Like they have these places where you go there and you can like shoot up and like be safe about it essentially and get medical help if you need it. versus like, because there's so many overdoses from heroin and things like that.
So maybe they're hoping that while people are there, they
Right.
can also try to talk to them about like.
No, it's just so that you don't like share needles and like do
right.
it
It
in a
doesn't make
dangerous
the
way
problem.
where you're gonna die.
You're spreading it, or
How's that
They
legal?
say
though?
if you're
I'm so
gonna do it,
confused.
you might as well do it here.
it's like this. It's this weird
This
like gray
safe
area
haven type of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think even the police department's like on board with it and stuff. It's interesting. Like it's that bad to the point where they're just trying to like
Save
keep
lives,
people
yeah.
from
Yeah.
dying, you know.
Yeah.
It's
So,
an epidemic.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
there's a lot of people who are addicted, and it's very hard to just stop. So
yeah.
you might as well help them, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe
it's-
this guy thought like, you know, if I just bring my meth down there, they'll, you know, I had a violent reaction. Like I got,
Wow.
this is dangerous. I got screwed. Like
sick,
you
yeah.
guys should go after the dealer that sold me this bad meth. But obviously,
Oh, wow, this is
really
really
not
interesting.
smart.
They actually have plans to open it in major cities, New York,
Yeah.
Philadelphia, San Fran, Seattle, and others such as Denver.
Yep.
Wow.
Do they give you the drugs as well?
No.
It's just a place with safe tools and stuff.
I
It's a
don't know
safe
exactly. I
space.
don't know enough about it to say. But it is
That's
a
so strange.
place designed
But interesting. Makes sense.
Rather than being like on the street, you can like,
and like
you know,
reusing
and overdosing
rusty
and
needles.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they try to steer them on the path to recovery too. While
Yeah.
they're
Well,
there,
yeah.
you know?
Obviously. Yeah. Like it's somewhere to get help too.
Well,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
just like a room you go in and then you leave. Like it's
I mean, maybe it
a
is, though.
center.
I don't know if people are there to be like, oh, you're here to use meth. Well, come here and let's talk about, or not. I think it's more heroin, not
It
meth.
would make sense though if
But-
they did. They should like at least give out like pamphlets or something. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if
It's hard. It's a huge issue. Okay, I wanted to end off today with kind of a fun and cute one. So,
All right.
this happened in 2012. Two Welsh tourists actually landed themselves in court because they got drunk and decided to steal a penguin called Dirk. Penguin's name
Dirk
is
the
Dirk.
penguin.
Yep. And
They
they
stole
stole
him.
him from the SeaWorld in Australia.
Damn. How do you
Reese
pull that off?
Owens Jones and Carrie Mules, aged 20 and 21, broke into the park on the Queensland Gold Coast, and swam with the dolphins, let off a fire extinguisher in the shark's enclosure.
Jesus.
So that's a big problem. And then they took Dirk. They took his ass.
Wow.
Yep. They took him home. It's basically like the Hangover movies. They wake up hungover and they find a penguin in their apartment.
How the fuck you get here?
So they tried their best to take care of him by feeding him, putting him in the shower.
What the hell, man?
Poor penguin. Poor Dirk.
Yeah.
So then they
seriously.
ended up releasing Dirk into a canal, which was very bad behavior because obviously you don't set domestic animals into the
Yeah.
wild.
What the hell?
And then he was spotted by a local and they called the police. They finally figured it out that it was them and stuff. And
Took his ass home.
yep,
Took
told
Dirk
them to
home.
drink a little less vodka. And they were fined 1,000 Australian dollars.
That's
That's
it?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, the
Only in
Australians are so
Australia,
chill
man,
over
where they're
there.
like, oh, yeah, took a penguin, mate.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're like, all right, as long as he's back. They got him back. So they're like, it's no
Rental's
damage.
$1,000, man.
I don't know.
Pretty
The
much.
biggest thing though is like letting the fire extinguisher off in the shark enclosure.
Sure, that was a mess to clean up.
That's really crazy. So yeah, we have a clip of it. Do you want to watch this news
Yeah,
clip?
I want to see Dirk.
Okay.
Show us Dirk.
Early morning, and a group of friends with a hangover wake to find a penguin in their living room.
Can't believe how penguin in my apartment, man. You stole a penguin.
A fairy penguin called Dirk, taken one night last month after they slipped past security at Brisbane SeaWorld. The men later panicked and dropped Dirk in a canal, where he was picked up and returned to the park. Now, two of those involved, Reese Jones and Kerry Mules, believed to be from South Wales, have been fined $1,000, or about £600, for stealing him. Speaking at the time, one of the men said they meant no harm.
We are, all three of us, sorry, SeaWorld and the time lost, searching for Dirk, and just glad he's all right.
The theme park too was relieved to get Dirk back in one piece.
This animal is a captive-born animal, 7 years old, never experienced things like boats or wide open spaces, so we're very fortunate to see Dirk back with his mates.
Dirk is now fine, none the worse from being, you've guessed it, the victim of a bird brain prank.
You gotta love that, man. How can you not love that? That's so funny.
I know. At least they
Oh,
didn't go
sorry.
steal money. They're like, let's go get a penguin, man. That'd be fun.
That man.
I know.
Poor
They'll
Dirk.
never fly here.
I know. So
That's hilarious, man.
anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of Mile Higher Podcast, be sure to let us know in the comments and feedback, and we will definitely do another one in the future because, like we said, there are endless dumb crimes out there.
Hopefully you guys are having a great day, and we will see you guys next week. Stay safe
and stay woke.
See you guys next time.